Hello, ladies. How are we doing today? Beautiful. So, my name is Joe Blundo. I own Twin Seafood in Concord, and this is CJ Ruiz, who basically runs the store. I try to take off as much time as I can, but sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. Anyways, this is our 4th annual, right? So I think this is our 4th annual with you guys. We are very, very happy to be here. We love coming out here and doing a little cooking for you. We know that you guys love the meals that we prepare. And of course, you know, being a cook, anytime people enjoy your food, that's half the battle right there. So we're very happy to be here. And again, welcome. So we're gonna start today's menu. We're gonna do a garden salad. Basically, it's also the salad that we serve at the fish store. It's romaine lettuce, it's tomatoes, capers, grated cheese. Today we're gonna put a little craisins in there, and we put a little shredded carrot. We do a homemade dressing. It's actually my mother Josie's recipe. God rest her soul. She passed away in 2021. But we still carry on her tradition with the dressing and as many things as we can. Anyways, CJ's going to take over from here. He's going to explain what goes into the dressing. And as you can see, we don't really use like cups and things like that for measurements. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Usually comes out pretty good. So right. CJ's going to go.
Hi, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. What's going on? First things first, we have red wine vinegar. We're over here. Like Joe said, we don't measure, we just kind of eyeball it. Then we got some olive oil, some fresh parsley, dry parsley, got a little garlic, and dehydrated onion goes in pretty much everything we do at the store. So first things first, we're just going to splash that up there. Just going to put the whole thing in there.
Now see that? Did you notice splash? Do you know that, Emerald, he says, bam. Well, we're fish guys, so we say splash.
The olive oil, you can go a little sparingly on that just because you can go a little less and add to it, just kind of like, it makes it easier. So just put a little bit there for now, and then you can come back to it if you need to. Just add some color, some parsley. That's a good little, I'd go a little more, just a little bit. There you go. That's done. Dehydrated. Want to throw that in here. Also, very important, you want to let this sit so the dehydrated soaks up that stuff. So it'll kind of expand too in there.
So the dehydrated does two things. It helps thicken it up a little bit because it's dehydrated onion. Also, secondly, the reason why you want to let this sit for just probably a half hour before you serve it, unless you use fresh onion, they'll still be crispy. So they need to get soft.
And just like a little spoon. Garlic goes a long way, so, use that however you want to. We're going to mix this up.
Splash.
Splash, not bam. So actually, yeah, that's perfect, actually, blend. So let that go. I'd say let it sit at least like 10 minutes before anything. And that's it. That's, keep it simple. Simple's beautiful. That's it.
Yeah, it's a very simple recipe for a very delicious dressing. You guys had it earlier on the salad. It's simple. It's not too much vinegar forward, but I think it does a nice thing. And and Josie used to make this all the time, so we'll carry this forever.
And that's that. And you can honestly add a little more, a little less, depending however your family wants to do it.
Yep.
And that's it. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the salad dressing. We'll take a quick break right now for a couple minutes just to move into our next segment, which I think we'll just prepare the salad for you guys, and we'll be back. Thank you.
There you go.
So welcome back to our cooking show for the Acton Women's Club. This is Twin Seafood in Concord. I'm Joe, and this is CJ. In our first segment, you saw that we prepared a dressing that's my mother's recipe, and now we're just gonna prepare the salad to go along with it. Very simple. We use romaine lettuce, hearts of romaine. Typically, we'll trim off if it's brown, and we trim off the top leaves the top. Maybe we can use the top. We use the top for sandwiches at the fish store. So
This is pretty
CJ's
good,
gonna,
so you probably get away with this.
okay.
So first things I do, I go towards like the whitest part of the lettuce. It's the most bitter. Just take that out. You can do something with it later, but we just dump it. I dump it. Go down the middle, and then just go however thin you want it, and just let it go.
So depending on how big the head of lettuce is, we cut it the lengthwise down the middle, just so the pieces of lettuce aren't, this big and you can't get them in your mouth. So we like to cut it a little bit smaller.
And like Joe was saying, I just get rid of that tip of it. I don't really need it. I don't like it in the salad. Just think it looks better. Just boom, throw it in there. Should have got a bigger bowl, but we'll just go with this one for now.
Okay then.
We'll leave those on the side. You guys get how to cut lettuce. Then we go with tomatoes. You got to pit out your tomato. Just go inside, go in a circle. You get rid of that. I don't know. I guess it's called the pit. So yeah.
We also when tomatoes are in season, we try to use more of a like a beefsteak tomato or just a vine ripened tomato, rather than these are just basic winter tomatoes. They're okay. They're not very good. They're good in like a grilled cheese sandwich, but in a salad, they need a little help. But it's what we have. It's what we can get right now. So it's what we're using. We use them for color. So you can see that we have some capers on the table here. In the break, we had a question whether we rinse the capers or not. So we don't do that. I like the brininess of the caper. So if you rinse it, it takes away a lot of that brininess, So we don't do that. And also we use a larger caper rather than the real tiny ones. Only because, it's in a salad. People that like capers, they want to bite into it. They want to taste it. So that's why we use a larger caper, and that's why we don't rinse them.
Got your tomatoes cut. Then you want to come in here. Just grab a generous splash.
Nice little splash capers.
Put all in
Splash!
there. Don't be afraid to get messy. Life's all about mess. That's what I like to say. And just sprinkle a little bit, however you desire. I think that's perfect.
We forgot the craisins there, CJ.
The craisins. See the craisins. It
In
got
the
crazy. It got crazy with the
Yeah, a
craisins.
little crazy.
I don't do craisins so much, so I'm just going to sprinkle what I think is good. It's pretty much how I do anything. I just think whatever. All right. Boom. You got that over there. Now, toss this up before you add the dressing we made. Put it on the side somewhere, right there. It's been at least 10 minutes, so perfect amount. Just let it sit. Throw that bad Larry in there. Splash it up a little bit. Make a little mess while you're at it.
Splash
Because
it
it's
all
like
over
kitchen.
the place. In the cheese.
That's all right.
It's all right.
All right.
It's all good.
Salad's looking great. I always like to add a little cheese on top after. Go around it. Salud.
Perfect.
Done.
So that's just a quick. That's how we do our salads. It's just a quick lesson in cutting lettuce and tomatoes and adding the dressing and the capers and the perfect amount of each. You could see that CJ measured everything. Did a nice job, and he just did a little splash of everything. Anyway, so we'll take a little break right now. We'll go to the next segment, which we will be doing our shrimp bruschetta, which we will be doing as an appetizer today. So we'll get set up for that, and we'll be back in a minute. Thank you.
There you go.
Welcome back. We are Twin Seafood in Concord. We're here doing a cooking show for the Acton Beautiful Women's Club.
Hey.
Just gets better and better every time. Better and better every time. So we're going. I'm sorry? Oh, wow. See that? See how nice that was? That's why. See, I'm blushing now, CJ.
I get you, Joe.
So we're moving on to our next segment. So we've done the homemade dressing, Josie's homemade dressing. We've done the salad. That's going to be one of our first courses. Now we're going to move on to, we do a shrimp bruschetta with tomatoes, capers, grated cheese, peppers, onion, shrimp scampi on the top, a little bit of fresh parsley, and lemon. And we use a bakery up in Lawrence for the bread that they ship us. They ship us frozen, par baked. You can pick it up at the store. The bread is delicious. It's fantastic. If you put it in your oven, you just throw a little flour all over yourself. When your husband gets home, it's like you've been baking bread all day long. And you can put as much flour on as you want, but we're going to leave that up to you. Anyways, CJ is gonna walk you through how we make the scampi for the top.
As usual, everything me and Joe do. A little bit of butter. You want to let that...
Oh, man, is that all you're going to use?
For now. We'll see.
I'm not eating that.
So we're going to let that go for a little bit. Also, just rule of thumb, don't use metal on metal. But you should use a wooden spoon. But I'm kind of careful. Don't worry about it.
Here you go, sweetheart.
There you go. Perfect. So once that gets going, we have our shrimp already right here, peeled and deveined. This is a small size, so I would say probably
those are 70 90s.
70 90s, and that would give you the count of the pound in the shrimp. So there'd be 70 to 90 of these and 1 pound. That's for any shrimp in the supermarket. You see the number that tells you how big it is.
Right.
Salute.
Bless you. So we buy them all peeled and deveined. At the store, typically we have them with the tail on. So if you want to make like a shrimp cocktail with the tail on, it's just a little bit more elegant, or it's a little bit easier. You don't have to have toothpicks and all of that. For this application, we like to buy them with the tail off, only because they're going into a recipe where you have to take the tail off anyway. So, and all these shrimp are previously frozen. And like CJ said, that's a 70-90 count, which is a small shrimp. It's good for like shrimp salad or in a stuffing that we're using here.
Okay, so now we got this going. We're just going to add our shrimp in there. That's a good size for a start right now. Mm-hmm. I'll just put that there. Get that going. You want to get some color. Put that up a little, JoJo.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to add a little bit because we got the butter in there already. And that's my little right there. I'm going to start with that.
I'm definitely not eating that.
We can always add more. All right. That's going. While in the meanwhile, while that's getting hot, I'm gonna pass it off to Joey.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make the tomato, the bruschetta part of the recipe, while CJ's getting that shrimp to cook and saute. It's a pretty simple thing. CJ, can you grab me some capers?
Yes.
So once again, this is what we have for tomatoes. So it's what we use, but again, I like to use like a nice beefsteak tomato or the plum tomatoes. I use plum tomatoes in a sauce a lot.
Thank you. For you.
Now you can also cut this up. You can use a Cuisinart, but I think it gets too. I like it to have a little bit of body to it, like the tomato. And if you use a Cuisinart, it kind of turns into like almost like a mush. But you can do it if you'd like. So we put that in the bowl. I'm gonna take 2 of these and do that.
In the meanwhile, also I got some lemons on the side. Just gonna spritz some of that in there. Lemon always goes good with the seafood. Let that go. You're gonna start to see some color on your shrimp. Just keep it moving. Keep your wrist going. That's it. Now would be a nice time for a cocktail. Maybe whatever you want. Glass of wine. I've been in a big red wine kick lately.
Little bourbon, maybe.
It depends. If we cook in lunch, it's wine. If we cook in dinner, it's bourbon.
Okay.
That's my thing. Just let it keep going.
So basically what CJ's making there is a scampi, right?
Yeah. And then I would only add the parsley to the very end of it. I want to cook it right there. No garlic at the moment right now, but I will. In fact, actually, I should have put the garlic at the beginning.
Nope. You're absolutely right in what you're doing. So here's the tomato. We add a little bit of olive oil. We add some capers, which I'm going to give the capers a rough chop because I like them cut up a little bit in this here. But nothing crazy, just a quick rough chop. But I like the saltiness. It goes nice with the shrimp.
That smells good.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Once again, I use a little bit of dehydrated onion, not a lot. In this here, you could use red onion, which might be actually a little bit better. But this here works, and some dry parsley.
And if you ever get, like, I guess anxious and you want to speed it up, just get a lid for this. It'll help it go along quicker. It just retains the heat better.
Did you put garlic in there?
I did.
Okay, so the reason I said that you're better off waiting on the garlic to put it in as the shrimp is like halfway cooked, because if you put that garlic in there immediately, it's going to burn. You're going to have brown garlic. It's going to be bitter. So this way here, you're going to get, all you really want to do is sweat the garlic anyways, right? So you just want to bring the flavor of the garlic out. You don't necessarily have to have it cooking, you know? So I think you need a little bit more butter in there, my friend.
Yeah, you want to go a little butter? All right, we'll go halfway butter.
That's it?
Yeah, you know. It's, you know,
and then I'm going to add a little bit of grated cheese to my bruschetta. Now, I made a huge pan, and if I had a green pepper, I would have added it to this, but I cut them all. So I put them all in here, so I don't have any more green peppers. So this needs a green pepper. So remember that. And then we're just going to mix this. I'm just going to mix it by hand, and you can see how beautiful that is.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's all coming along.
I mean, you just take that, and let me get a bread. We got the bread back here in the oven. Nice. Man, that's hot. I think I lost an eyebrow. Yeah.
You're
Did
right.
I?
You look good.
Yeah. So this is the pot baked bread. You can see it has the nice, the nice pockets in there, right? So it just takes on everything. It's great for garlic bread. It's great just for bread and butter. I can't take these home because I eat the whole loaf, as you can see. But yeah, I don't like to take them home because, like I say, I do eat the whole thing.
Last thing with the shrimp, guys. The outside of your pan, you just want to move that in towards the center. Anything translucent, you want to move towards the middle of the pan. You got more heat. And also, this won't take very long. This is pretty much all the way done. And you're going to let that pull off to the side and let it cool.
What else are you going to add there?
The parsley.
Yeah.
Some parsley. You can actually turn me down, Joe, too.
Sure.
A splash of parsley. You guys see that Salt Bay guy? You just go like that.
Hey, you can do that with a little cheese.
There you go. A little cheese there.
So that cheese will thicken it up. See how nice? He got half of that in his armpit, but it's okay.
All right.
All right. So now we got the bread, and we're going to just flatten down the bread so that it will hold the bruschetta, the tomato. You don't have to. There's so much oil, already in the shrimp, already in the
bread in there.
already in the tomato. You don't have to. I like to press it down so that it stays on there.
Also, you get the most tomatoes on there. You want a full bite, right, Joe?
You want a full bite, like CJ said. That shrimp might be a little hot for me to handle right now. Can you take a little off?
I got you.
All right, CJ's going to go to work on the shrimp right now.
I got a couple of those.
See, my hands, I got delicate hands. Very delicate hands, like a surgeon almost, kind of. CJ's good to go. He's like a truck driver.
There you go. It's not so bad. Sprinkle it on top. Now, my hands are hot. But it's all right.
It's all right.
It's like Christmas morning.
Now, if you wanted to, you could always add a little bit of mozzarella cheese on top, put it under the broiler, something like that. Personally, I think this is plenty rich. I don't think you need any cheese. All it's going to do is take away from the flavor. Maybe if there was no shrimp on top, just the tomato bruschetta, maybe a little bit of cheese. But CJ's going to hit it with a little bam of grated cheese. A little bam. Bam. Oh, no. Splash.
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 Steph Curry and Clay. Splash Brothers.
Hit it.
Man. Slash.
Splash. This is something new we came up with on the way up here. That's why we're confused all the time.
Is that why?
Yeah, that's why.
All right. And
So anyways, that's our shrimp bruschetta, which is going to be one of our appetizers for today's dinner. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go to the main meal. Splash.
Splash. There you go.
All right. All right, perfect.
Cool.
Welcome back. We are Twin Seafood in Concord. We are here with the beautiful Acton Women's Club. And we are doing our 4th annual cooking show for them, and we love it. They haven't actually been all that bad today with all the heckling. You know, it's been pretty good. You know, CJ hasn't started crying yet. It's all good. We're in good shape. Anyway, so now we're moving on to the main dish, and today we're going to make a crab and Ritz cracker stuffed fillet of flounder. So CJ was in the fish pier this morning, up bright and early.
Too early.
Too early. Look at him. He's starting to sleep now. But you can see here, this flounder is beautiful. This is from Canada, right?
I believe they're Gloucester.
Gloucester? Okay, so this is some local Gloucester fillets. They're beautiful. You could see how they have that nice sheen. Of course, the light helps a little bit. So, like I was saying, the flounder, it comes from Gloucester. It's beautiful. CJ picked it up this morning at the fish pier, which is something that we do in Concord at the fish store. We're in the fish pier at least 3 times a week, so we don't rely on anybody to deliver us anything. CJ is down the pier. He's hand picking everything that we have in the showcase. So everything in our showcase comes from the fish pier to the showcase same day. Okay, so that's why we've been there 32 years. That's why we'll continue to be there another 32 years. And that's what we do. That's what we do. So anyway, CJ's gonna we're gonna make the stuffing for the flounder.
Okay, so stuffing for the flounder. First thing we have broken up Ritz cracker. I have my muddler, which Joe thinks is too small, but it's the perfect. It's made for this. We're just gonna.
Is that what that's called, a muddler?
It's called something. I just made muddler, but it works. I think it works.
Now, what have you made with a muddler before?
You take mojitos actually.
Mojitos. I knew it was mojitos.
Mojitos actually. You get the fresh mint and you put on the water, and you muddle it. So it's a muddler.
No, you are absolutely right, but I knew there
blacked
was
out there.
I knew there was a little bit of alcohol involved there somewhere.
All right. So also, Joe might be right. This might be a little, but that's okay. We're just gonna chop it up. You got that thing going, Joe?
It's going, yep.
So we're gonna add.
So by the time he gets this done, we'll have dinner, which would be nice for everybody. All right, so we're gonna make the stuffing for the flounder. So what we typically do, we use butter, we use olive oil, kind of the start to almost pretty much everything we make, right? Right?
I gave up on the muddler. I'm cracking. I'm going hands only.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we could find anybody got any rum? We can make a couple of mojitos. Is that rum?
No, yeah, it is Bacardi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unsalted butter because you don't need it with the Ritz. Now we made some stuffing in advance and we put crab meat in there. So there's plenty of crab meat in there. We're not going to add that to this, but it's still basically made the same way. It's crab meat from Maryland. It's blue crab. It's the lump, jumbo lump crab meat from Maryland. It's fantastic. Great for crab cakes, you know. All right, so we get this to a nice temperature. Now, if you want to lighten this up a little bit, you can add a little bit of chicken stock, or you can add white wine. But if you add the white wine, you got to put that in first, reduce it down, and then add everything else.
Just drop that down for you.
Yeah. I'm just going to add a little bit of garlic, and this is hot. So I'm going to take it off the heat, actually. but I love that smell. I think if we could make a cologne,
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, man.
If I went out at night and smelled like garlic, I don't know if anyone's talking to me.
Just a nice little, you carry a piece of, carry some pizza in your pocket too. What do you think?
I don't know. You're married already. I'm not.
All right, so we're going to add, where's the parsley?
We have that right
Some
here.
lemon juice, which I will squeeze through a strainer so we don't get any seeds in there. When I make the sauce for the flounder, I'll show you another little trick with the lemons to get them to be as juicy as possible.
All right.
We'll put that in there. Just a little bit of dry parsley. And again, I would add the crab meat at this minute right now.
Let's just pretend it's going in there right now.
Then splash with the crab meat. So we're going to put that. And then CJ's going to add a little bit of Ritz crackers at a time until you get the right consistency.
And it's okay if it's not completely like powdery because it's just going to mix it up in there.
Especially if you use a mutter.
And that's good. Why don't you give that a mix
Best way to crush the Ritz crackers is you just put them in a bowl. You use a can or
Joe likes to use a hammer.
a hammer.
You know.
You're going to need a little bit more. So you can see the consistency coming here. But you want it to be a little bit tighter than this, a little drier than this.
Yep.
But it smells fantastic. And you can smell, you can't smell that? I'll bring it around. Let's turn that up a little bit. And you do want to cook it down, right? So you do want it to cook. So this is a good consistency because what you want to be able to do, actually even a little bit drier, a little bit more Ritz.
Splash.
Splash. And you don't have to put fish in the stuffing. If you're going to stuff a nice piece of flounder or whatever, you don't have to put fish into the stuffing. Just this alone is fantastic. All right, so now we got a pretty good consistency, just so that it'll stay together like this here, like that. And when you just put it inside the, you just put that inside the flounder. So CJ's going to take some flounder.
Show you guys how to roll.
CJ's going to start rolling this stuff for you. I'm going to add this to the one with the crab meat. There you go, CJ.
Okay, so these are
And
some
I'm going to
pretty...
pass that around so you can smell it.
Delicious.
See how nice that is?
Anybody else want to smell?
Oh, everybody wants to get a little smell. Come on.
It's like the collection plate. Pass it down to the left. All right, so fillets, they're nice. Gonna lay it down. We're gonna get however much, I think like a good paw full is good. And I like to squeeze it out a little bit and kind of roll it up. And I think this is a generous portion right here.
No, but we'll do it for you.
Just gotta give us a heads up.
Yeah.
All right.
Like we'll do baked stuffed shrimp. We do baked stuffed lobsters. We can make like lobster casserole, scallop casserole, seafood lasagna. We made seafood lasagna last time we were here. Yeah, it was awful.
So we put it at the end, towards the tail end, and I like to get it as tight as possible because just the way you got to roll it up. And you're just going to keep going. Take your time with it. And that's one right there, bro.
So CJ's already done about 60 that we have all done already cooked. So he's gonna continue he's gonna roll out another 3 of these, and then I'm gonna save 3 that I'm just gonna pan sear a little bit. But I'm gonna make the sauce that we're going to put on top of the flounder after it's all baked. And hopefully this won't be heavy, but it might be, because I am going to use a pound of butter.
Also, ladies.
All right. I'll use 2/3 of a pound of butter.
You don't need toothpicks for this either. So I would always suggest just like that last little flap, just put it on the bottom, just so it doesn't unravel. But it shouldn't.
Now I know everybody's going, "Oh my God, this that." Now you don't have to do this, right? You don't have to use as much butter as I'm using, but for my liking, I like a fair amount of butter. I'm not really going to put very much into this either. So all this is going to be is it's just going to be butter. You can use white wine again to start. This is just going to be butter. It's just going to be lemon juice, and it's going to be capers. And it's just going to, as you guys take a piece of flounder, we're just going to ladle a little bit of this over it. You don't need a lot because it has that lemon pungent flavor and the capers, and you really don't need a lot. So let's not forget that this is 2/3 of a pound of butter, but it's also for 60 pieces of fish. So we did this at $3.95? We did it at $3.95 for approximately
an hour.
Yeah, 45 minutes. 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your oven. So I'm gonna squeeze some lemons in there. So what you want to look for, and this is what we carry at the fish store. We carry very thin skin lemons. Okay, when you get a lemon and it has that thick skin, there's nothing in it. There's no juice. There's nothing. You can't squeeze it. Your hands aren't strong enough to squeeze. It's just not a good thing. So we try to get them all thin. Best thing to do is roll them. So you roll.
What's the purpose of that, Joe?
What it does is it loosens up everything on the inside. All the membrane, exactly. And it's just, you're going to get a lot more juice out of it.
Some people put them in.
So you can see that see how much softer it is?
Oh yeah, look at that juice come out. I like this sauce better.
I'm gonna leave those 2 fillets for you,
It's
Joe.
a little bit lighter. So the white sauce we used on the lasagna was more like a bechamel.
A what?
It's a bechamel, whatever.
Spell bechamel.
No. One of my downfalls, I cannot spell.
It's all right.
I'm awful.
It's all right. It's not just him. Nobody in the store can spell.
I'll tell you, years ago, we had a customer come in the store, and it was at the holidays, at Christmas, very busy time of year, and they looked up at the board, and they decided to tell me that I spelled calamari wrong. So, I got a full store, maybe 30, 40 people in there. And she's telling me that I spelled it wrong. So my head's starting to steam just a little bit. So I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "That's too bad." I said, "Are you interested in buying some calamari?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "But I just want to let you know that you spelled it wrong." I said, "I can pretty much guarantee you that the price is right. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about the spelling." And everybody kind of looked at me like, he's not right in the head. There's something wrong with him. But just things that happen, right?
That's the way it goes. Okay, so we got the end product of the rolled up flounder right there. And if they ever fall out the end, just pop them back in.
CJ, can I have that zester in there?
Zester. I feel like I got tested and I passed.
I didn't test you. I knew you knew.
I blacked out. All right. Zester, you add a little lemon zest to that?
Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit of lemon zest. And can you chop me a few capers?
Yes, sir. Chop capers?
Yep, just a little bit.
Okay.
I like the zest because it really brings out that lemon flavor, even more than the juice. I don't think there's anything better than butter and lemon. Butter and lemon. Do you guys like Alaskan king crab legs? Just butter and lemon to dip that in when they're cooked. So good. So good. And then the only other thing I'm going to put in here is capers. And CJ's going to chop some for me. We're going to put those in there. We're going to let this cook down. And then when we serve the flounder, we're just going to put a little bit. You guys can just take a little spoonful and put it over your flounder, and that'll be that.
So I would just say instead of grabbing an individual caper, just kind of put them on there and just go like that.
Why don't you use the mutter? No?
Nah. I like my way. I like to do things my way.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's some fine knife work. You can zoom in on me, Mark. Look at that.
No blood. No blood, no foul.
All right.
All right, just dump them in.
Splash.
Splash, baby.
I feel like Steph Curry out here.
Splash, splash, splash. Perfect. What's the flower that they come from? It is crocus.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm taking you to bar trivia.
That's right, crocus. All right, so that's our prep work for the main course. We're going to come back. We're going to have everything set up. You guys can have a nice hearty lunch, and we'll be back in a minute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We are Twin Seafood in Concord. I'm Joe. This is CJ. We prepared a meal today for the beautiful Acton Women's Club. And I'm just going to run through quickly what we're serving today. We made a French bread, tomato, and shrimp bruschetta. We also made a beautiful garden salad with capers, grated cheese, tomato, and we put some craisins in there, and we used my mother's homemade dressing, a vinaigrette that she's been making for all of my life anyway. Also, we have here a stuffed rolled flounder fillet. The flounder is from Gloucester. It was picked up today by CJ down the fish pier. It is stuffed with crab meat, a Ritz cracker stuffing, and some butter. And we made a butter lemon caper sauce to put over the flounder when we serve it. So I think that's it. We're going to invite the ladies up to eat. And I think that does it for our show. You prepared a meal you can't refuse. We prepared a meal that you can't refuse.
Enjoy. Thank you.